A proudly South African story indeed. Only 2 South Africans have received the Knight of the French National Order of Merit. I'm not going to try now and give you the French name, but she will do so shortly. The first was our former public protector, Thuli Madonsela. And the second is Caroline Stein, who is a philanthropist, founder of 67 Blankets for National Mandela Day. But it's for her contribution to the deepening of cultural ties between South Africa and France that she was honored. Just yesterday, she received that knighthood from the French ambassador to South Africa, Aurélien Le Xavier, at the French embassy. She joins us now in the studio to talk about this award. Congratulations, ma'am.
Merci beaucoup, Dan.
I can't speak the language, but a little bit of it. But well done, and I'm sure it's a proud moment for you as well.
I must tell you, it is very, very, it's overwhelming. To say that I'm proud is an understatement. It was a very emotional day for me yesterday. You know, I had to give a speech, which I gave in French.
Okay.
And, you know, I'd practiced for quite some time. And I stood up there after the ambassador, Monsieur Aurélien Le Chevalier, bestowed upon me this medal. And
what is that order called in French?
It's called the Chevalier National l'Ordre du Mérite. I've got it all wrong. I know I have.
Okay.
Le Chevalier de l'Ordre National du Mérite.
Du Mérite, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I started speaking, and I saw all my friends there in the garden at the French residence, and it just suddenly dawned on me the enormity of this incredible award. I started crying.
Yeah, no, it must be emotional. But just tell me about this for you, I mean, as a South African and France. Where does it begin? Why this interest? Why have you been participating in this deepening of cultural ties between the two peoples, the 2 countries?
I've always loved the sound of the French language. I'm sure you'll agree it's one of the most romantic sounds in the world. And for years and years, in my diary, I used to write my New Year's resolutions, and one was to find more work as an actress, you know, buy a new car that works, find a boyfriend, find an apartment, find a husband, learn French at the Alliance Française. So after 10 years, I thought, no, I have to do this, otherwise I must stop writing this thing in my diary. So I called the Alliance Française. That was 10 years ago, so I started then. So I think, you know, the culture, I love the elegance of the French. I love the music. You know, I play a lot of French music on my radio show every night. And the food, except for frog's legs. That I don't think I can do. But I believe they're delicious.
You're on Hot FM, a local Johannesburg-based radio station.
Hot 102.7.
And you play French music, you said?
Well, I play South African music, I play French music, Italian, you know, gentle, beautiful sounds, classical music, light classics, film scores, Broadway show tunes. So,
yeah, how would you say, how good is your French today? How good is your French?
Well, I've done quite well in my exams at the Alliance Française. The ambassador was particularly impressed with me yesterday. I would say that I can hold myself in a conversation, but if I have to talk politics, I'm not going to be able to do that in French. I can't do that in English either.
Yeah, yeah. Many of us would battle politics in any language. Currently, you are described as a philanthropist, and art, music in media in South Africa. You got a radio program. You do a lot for the community as well. And I just want to bring in, because it's mentioned in the press release about this award that you got from the French government, the French National Order of Merit. The 67 Blankets, you founded that.
I did.
In terms of the helping people to raise funding, and actually you knitted these blankets. I think, was it Zelda Lichansi?
Correct.
Who challenged you to do so?
Yes.
What a wonderful soul Zelda is.
Yes.
And you were able to do so for the 67 Minutes campaign in honor of Madiba.
Yes.
So tell us about that. How is that going? And how does this fit in with this picture of your life today?
Okay, well, I have to tell you, 67 Blankets for Nelson Mandela Day has been the biggest gift ever given to me, apart from this. So Zelda was at the lunch table. It was my husband's birthday, shortly after the passing of our beloved Madiba. and I was boasting about my domestic abilities, of which I have none. Zelda said, make 67 blankets for Mandela Day. I said, sure, no problem. So I started crocheting, and I realized I can't make 67 blankets. Then the last time I'd crocheted was when I was at Jeppe High School for Girls, my school. And my friends all said, I don't cook, I don't knit, I'm too busy. So I put it on Facebook. And the next day, 3 o'clock in the morning, I pledged to make 67 blankets. I need help. It's amazing, the response, how a simple idea, a ball of wool, a crochet hook can snowball into what many people are calling a movement. Because thousands of people in South Africa and around the world are stitch by stitch making blankets for those in need. So this year we're doing something so exciting. I have to tell you about it.
Yes, please. Do
May 11th at Steyn City School, we're going to lay out thousands of beautiful handmade blankets made with love. On the grounds. We are partnering with Gift of the Givers, and those thousands of blankets are being called our Rainbow Nation Blanket of Hope. They'll be distributed with Gift of the Givers throughout the country to communities and vulnerable people in need.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this for 8 years. We're 8 years old.
You started with 67 blankets, and now you're sitting with thousands of blankets. And we know how a blanket can bring warmth to any human being anywhere in the world.
And I think the difference between a bought blanket, and that's fabulous, but, you know, the person, the recipient of our blankets know that someone spent time and a lot of effort and energy and love in the creation of this blanket.
So when is this year's campaign beginning with the Gift of the Givers?
So we're busy now around the country. People are crocheting furiously away to make blankets to be delivered to Steyn City in time for our big display at Steyn City School on the 11th of May. So that will be from early in the morning. 8 o'clock will be registration, 9 o'clock official proceedings. We've got the Mzansi Youth Choir performing, PJ Powers, Timothy Malloy. So it's going to be a very, very, very Gift of the Givers and Doctors Without Borders. I forgot about that.
Médecins Sans Frontières.
Médecins Sans Frontières. Very
That's
good, Dan.
Name,
very,
eh?
very good.
MSF. I know nowadays we've anglicized them to Doctors Without Borders.
Yes.
You know, let's just go back to this award. This award was given to you yesterday on behalf of President Emmanuel Macron. And you've expressed how you feel about it. Does it mean there's something more that is expected of you now, or you think you need to do in the deepening of these ties between the South African people and the French people?
I feel that I have to give more because of this. It's a huge honor. I mean, I'm very, very busy with my philanthropic work, especially with 67 blankets. I'm also on the board of IFAS, the French Institute, where we work on fostering cultural ties between France and South Africa. So I think it's a responsibility, and I need to wake up with a purpose every day, which is what I do and will continue to do with pride.
So this will drive you, or has energized you in a way?
It has energized me. It's given me a kind of renewed energy to go forth and conquer.
Yeah. We are in a pandemic world today. The world is in a different place. I mean, even travel is beginning to be better now. We no more have red zones and all those kind of classifications of countries. People are beginning to travel a little bit more now. What aspects of the relationship between South Africa and France do you think need to be focused on? I'm asking this against the backdrop, for example, if you don't mind me asking. We just had the unemployment figures yesterday. I mean, they're horrific. I mean, if you look at the numbers, and the young people in particular. But we have so many creative people. We have cultural activities, and South Africa is rich with that heritage, just like France. Would you think it's something that we need to promote more and more of between the two countries, sharing more in terms of culturally, arts and stuff, so we are able as well to create opportunities for especially young South Africans?
Absolutely. Our artists, our singers, our dancers, our poets, our writers have been really, really hard hit, as you know. I mean, theatres have been shut for the most part of 2 years. So I think that the more we can encourage our young talent to you know, hone their craft, and with the encouragement of the French to show their skills internationally, I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And Yeah, so that's my focus on culture, arts and culture. In terms of unemployment, my gosh, that is something.
But I mean, arts and culture can be used as well as a vehicle to attract tourism. You know, people can come and watch and perform.
Exactly.
And tourism is a low-hanging fruit, especially for the low-skill type of vocations.
The hospitality industry, as you know, has been really, really hard hit. So I think the more we can encourage travel, people coming into our country, people going, the exchange of culture, the better for us and the better for the rest of the world.
Yeah, now, Carolyn, before you go, do we have to address you differently now? You've got that beautiful
Let's see how you curtsy.
How I guess, or do we just have to keep on doing?
No, it's a joke. It's just. So I believe it's Madame, Dame,
Okay.
Dame. It's Dame.
Yeah.
So a translation, I guess, would be Dame.
Yeah. When I meet French people, I always tell them, because I don't speak French very well, I tell them, je ne parle pas français. Mais je parle beaucoup de portugais et anglais et shangan. Those are my languages that I speak. And then to try and open the door, because I don't speak very well. But you are really making us proud. You're setting that standard. Keep on doing the brilliant work, the awesome work, the work that gives you, as you said earlier, purpose every day and meaning. I guess even the pandemic has made all of us stand up and think, I should do something with meaning every day if I can, because times are tough.
You see, we talk about the fact that we're knitting lives together during this pandemic while we are apart. You know, thank goodness for technology, thank goodness for Zoom and Skype and FaceTime, etc. So people were meeting on Zoom, crocheting, you know, still liaising with each other, building a family, knitting lives together, knitting our nation together, knitting nations together. I mean, can you imagine had this happened 15 years ago when technology wasn't what it is today? So we've been very, very busy during this time of COVID.
And getting connections going. Thank you very much, Carolyn Stein. She has just received yesterday the National Order of Merit from France on behalf of President Emmanuel Macron. It was given to her by the ambassador to South Africa from France, Aurélien Le Chevalier. Thank you very much for your time.